a major red flag that people often overlook in the early stages of dating?
Well, we talk about red flags. What is really a red flag? A red flag is something that tells you stop, pay attention, listen. So one of the big thing that people overlook is you're talking to somebody, they don't want to introduce you to their circle, and they don't want you to introduce them to your circle. Big red flag. You should be able to see the people who are in your circle, your family, your friends and stuff. They should be able to pick up stuff for you, and they should be able to say, based on this factor, that factor, I think you should pay some attention. And so if you start talking to somebody and you think it's getting serious and you start to feel that person and you think you want to move forward, let's get some family and friends involved. Let's pay a visit. Let's pass by. I'd like to see where you live, who you're living with.
Oh, for sure.
You know,
That's it.
I don't think you should claim to be heels overboard in love with somebody and you have no foundation and no background.
Mm-hmm.
I have heard situations of people getting married and never reach a family member or a friend. That's like hilarious and crazy. And if somebody's coming into your world and they want to separate you from your family and friends, big red flag. Because what people do is to isolate you. And so when they turn the pressure and the heat upon you, you don't have that support base to turn to. So don't allow anybody to separate you from your circle, from your friends and your family, from your support base. Don't do that. Big red flag.
Anything to weigh in?
What do you think? What do you think, Brittany?
Yeah, you definitely don't allow anybody to, cause you to turn away from your support system. Because like you said, then you're just depending on them. And then if it goes left with them, then, who do you really have left? And you may be put in a situation where you feel stuck, like you have to stay.
Yeah, so you're talking to somebody, you're getting serious with them. It's fine to take them by your family. If you don't want to take them home, let's go out for a lunch with a couple of my friends or so. It's fine to see where they're living, what is happening in their world. Who is this person really? Because this world is full of so much messed up situation. And so you want to be able to establish some things right up front. So that's one of the big red flags for me.
Okay. When do you think it's appropriate to discuss past relationships when dating someone new? Because I know in the last segment, we briefly said we shouldn't really upfrontly, jump into the deep waters of saying, yeah, this is my past, et cetera, et cetera. But when do you believe is an appropriate time to discuss past relationships?
Your past relationship, in my mind, is personal. And if you are going to take somebody into that personal and private area of your life, right, I think you need to be able to pass a couple of red flag tests with that person. You need to be able to feel a certain level of comfort with that person before you take them into the depth of your emotional life.
If you had to put a time on it, like 1, 2 months.
Well, see, so several times I speak, and I the last time I said this, and people eyes pop open, and then I had to explain. I said, if you are ready to move forward in a serious relationship, it's because you've become naked. And everybody, and I say, hold a second. I am not talking about naked by taking off your clothes. I'm talking about naked by showing the true you. Who are you? Who am I? Because it's one of the things that help to make people intimate when they can talk about themselves. But I need to know and understand that I can trust you, or at least feel a sense of trust. I need to feel that this relationship is beginning to go somewhere before talking to you about some of my intimate life. And so this, and even then, I would like to say to some of your viewers, and I like to say to you, some things are better left unsaid. There are some things you don't even need to talk about. It's past, it's gone, throw it behind your back and let it just go. Because it does not add to a present or future relationship to deal with some of the baggages of the past. And so you need to carefully know what you talk about and what you don't talk about, and when is the safe time to do so, when I believe you are becoming into that comfort zone. Yes.
A little bit from Brittany.
I agree with everything you said. Making sure you feel safe to be vulnerable with that person before you share, your traumas, or not even necessarily trauma, but just like personal things that happened in your life. I think for me, it's important that I feel safe. That's the biggest thing, because you can share these things and like the person you share with might bring them up later on and like to prove a point, or because they want to hurt you, or for some reason that's just not in your best interest. So you really have to be careful.
So it's fine to say to somebody, listen, I really am not comfortable to talk about that. It's fine to say that. So some people want to dig too deep into some personal things that really doesn't add to the current relationship, and you got to be bold and brave enough to say, I'm not comfortable to talk about that. Hit me with the best shot, Mike.
Okay, as a man that is currently married, and Brittany, of course, this can apply, is it okay to go to bed angry? Or for Brittany, should you resolve every argument before sleeping and saying goodnight?
I'll let Brittany start answering.
I don't necessarily think you had to go to bed with it solved, but I also don't think you should go to bed angry. I think before you go to bed, you need to make sure you both are at a place where you're not mad at each other, and it could at least be neutral, but the problem might not solve itself before the night is over. But I think it's not good to go to bed mad. I think you need to establish like, we're on the same team, we're going to work this out, like y'all have to come together and be on good terms before you go to sleep. Always.
You should solve stuff before you go to bed. It's just sad. Listen, I have counseled people who live together in the same house for years, not talking to each other, for months and for years.
Can't do that.
And it's like, how the heck in the world can you even survive? My blood pressure would probably go up. To be in that home with somebody, you get to stay as a stiff jacket. And see, we are going to talk about communication and different levels of communication in the next segment. But this whole thing about a passive and a passive-aggressive relationship, some people are extremely passive-aggressive. You ought to be able to master the art of communicating. And so you got to be in a situation, even when you're angry, that your spouse can talk to you. And that's why I said early on, you're getting in a relationship, push some buttons and see where it goes. Push some buttons and see when this person get angry, how do they behave.
You better be careful pushing them buttons.
You push some buttons.
I think that's a very clear indicator how somebody reacts when they don't get what they want or they don't get what they expect.
Basically, when people show you who they are, you should believe them. And a lot of times I said, when people show you who they are, you should believe them. A lot of time, lots of time, people show themselves and the other party don't accept and believe this is who the person really is. When people show you who they are, you should believe them. So we've been talking relationship. If you join us late, I'm Bishop T.M. Slow. I have Brittany and Mike with me. It's Relationship Unplugged. Please reach out to us. Let us know what you would like to hear from us. What would you like us to talk about? What would you like us to emphasize on? Whether you're married, you're single, you're divorced, you are a widower, whatever aspect, wherever you are in relationship, we have some great answers for you. We are going to be talking with and interacting with all kinds of people in Relationship Unplugged. We're offering to be your counselor, your coach, your mentor. I'm a very successful matchmaker. I am a very successful counselor and life coach. And I trust God that I'm going to have the opportunity one day to share with you and to be a blessing in your relationship. I've been Bishop T.M. Slow, and with me in studio have been
Brittany.
And
Mike.
until next time, God bless you. Goodbye now.